Not talk about this before the show.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Do it like this. Ba-boom. Ba-boom. Do it like that. Yeah. Ba-boom. 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 Do it like that. Yeah. Ba-boom. Do it like this. Ba-boom. Ba-boom. Do it like that. Yeah. Ba-boom. Do it like this. Ba-boom. Ba-boom. Yeah.
Fire up the oven. It's time for another plump and juicy edition of At PT. I'm one half of your news crew, and I go by the name of Kyle Blackman.
And rounding out the other half of your news team would be me, Emily Brandstetter. It's time to break out your running shoes and get yourself in tip-top shape because the moment has come to try and beat everyone in your family out to the mailbox to intercept yet another report card. Please remember that the mailman is just the messenger. If you haven't been checking Edline on a regular basis, then the shock of another end of the 9 weeks is headed your way on Friday the 7th. Beware.
The next time you're at the PT Public Library, be sure to take a moment to reflect on our past by checking out the Township Oral History display located on the first and second floors. There you can gain new insight into the lives of many of those who have helped shape our community. And maybe, just maybe, find out why there's no apostrophe in the name Peters Township. Despite being an oral display, you won't have to worry about being shushed while viewing this display because it's silent.
Nothing says springtime like a bunch of little kids running around and picking up what's fallen from a large bunny. If this was happening out in the wild, parents may be slightly alarmed and be running after their children with antibacterial hand sanitizer. But since we've come to accept that it is a yearly tradition associated with Easter, we don't get too concerned about what our kids are picking up and putting into their mouths. This past Saturday, the Community Recreation Center hosted its annual Bunny Hot Party, and little kids of all ages got their fill of sugar, sweets, and prizes.
There are many major milestones in a young person's life. Learning to crawl, the first words, taking the first step, and then before you know it, it's time for you to remember your first locker combination. Yes, parents of next year's crop of 7th graders had an opportunity to learn more about the life of the school that falls between the low school and the high school, known as the middle school, at orientation held last Tuesday at the middle school. Attention PTHS students, the following bulletin is of extreme importance. Do not set your alarm clocks to wake up on the following days: Thursday, April 13th, Friday, April 14th, and Monday, April 17th.
Yes, unless we see a major snowfall between now and Thursday, there are no classes scheduled for those days. Stay away from the building. Do something else. Sleep in, eat chocolate, see a movie. But whatever you do, don't bother coming to school. There will be no one here to teach you anything. There are no tests. There is no homework due. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
Never was good at Monopoly.
If you find yourself burned out on reality television and staring endlessly at your computer screen waiting for your buddies to appear online, why not dust off your library card and hop on down to the Peters Township Public Library or the high school library, even though you will have missed the opportunity to help them celebrate the National Library Week, which happened last week and featured a number of special programs and events.
For those of you who didn't participate in reading during National Library Week, one of the programs the Peters Township Library offers is called Books on Screen, which is a discussion group that explores the relationship between a book and how it ends up on a movie screen. This is a program where you read a book and then watch the movie. But it's not fair if you watch the movie and try to get out of reading the book. Avoid the late fees of renting a movie at your local video store and check out the Books on Screen program. Check out the library's slick website at ptlibrary.org for all the latest details. The next book and movie up for discussion is Nick Hornsby's High Fidelity, which will take place the first week in May.
At PT is just one of the many productions that the PTHS media students devote every waking hour of their lives making. Despite all the sleep deprivation and exhaustion, I guess we're making some pretty decent programming as students have captured 53 awards of excellence over the last 12 years from the Television and Video Teachers Consortium. Bonus points for spelling consortium, by the way. that annually bestows its awards at a ceremony held on the rolling hills of the campus of Robert Morris University in Moon Township. Media students will find out how this year's crop of entries does at the Student Video Festival held on April 12th. In a bit of shameless self-promotion, we'll be sure to announce any winning entries on the next edition of At PT.
Speaking of the next edition of At PT, our Crack At PT exclusive team is currently working tirelessly on a story that you won't want to miss. Your health could depend upon it. Here's a little sneak peek.
Chicken burger and 2 fries.
This morning I had some Reese's, if that counts as breakfast.
Well, I think it's not just teens.
In the morning I eat on the bus.
I always like to have a snack or something. Sometimes I eat breakfast and sometimes I don't.
Eating on the run.
To do, I think, with our hectic lifestyle.
And I'm more hungry than I was when I don't eat breakfast.
People spend a lot more time just sitting.
Try to eat a little bit more than 3 meals.
I think some of our choices out there.
Chocolate chip muffins, and
the biggest culprit is the food supply.
Look at me, you know?
We never put children on diets.
The nutritional profile of them is terrible.
I usually don't eat dinner sometimes.
We all think we're experts because we eat.
Well, our mission here is complete, which means it's time to pull this turkey out of the oven and throw it over to our good friend, Miss Steph Lacey at the Sports Information Center. Take it away, Steph.
Thanks, guys. Well, we've had a busy past week with the PTHS sports teams battling the weather more often than their opponents. Working around postponements, cancellations, and rescheduled games, it's been a flurry of activity here at the At PT Sports Information Center. So let's go straight to the highlights that we were able to pick up this past week. First, out of the diamond, the Peters Township baseball team has had a very successful opening to their season following the outstanding season last year that ended in the state championship game. This past Thursday, the team hosted the Leopards of Bell Vernon, who proved to be no match for the Indians. Jordan Janokowski took to the mound for the Indians and capped off an 8-strikeout performance with a home run to lead the Indians to a 15-0 victory in just 4 innings. Up next for Peters, weather permitting, the team will be traveling to McGuffey today, April 10th, and then play Elizabeth Forward on Wednesday at 3:45, followed by a makeup game on Thursday against TJ at 3. The boys' tennis team had a tough time getting their matches in between the raindrops. However, the team was able to take on Baldwin on a sunny afternoon last Friday, defeating the Highlanders with a score of 5-0. Earlier in the week, the team lost a close one at North Allegheny, 3-2. This week, PT boys tennis athletes Andrew Nixon and Doug Sabosis will be taking part in section singles on Monday and Tuesday before the team travels up Route 19 to face Mount Lebanon for a 3:30 contest this Wednesday. One team that never has to worry about the elements is the boys volleyball team. Despite Derek Dunn getting back-to-back points to help cap a 4-0 run for the team, the Indians were unable to hold off the Mount Lebanon Blue Devils, dropping all 3 sets 25-22, 25-15, and 28-26 last Monday. The team next takes the court tonight at 7:30 p.m. at Bethel Park and then travels to Central Catholic later in the week on Wednesday. Following a highly successful series of games to kick off the season down in Disney World, the PTHS softball team has found it a bit tougher since returning north. The team was able to get in 1 game last week, dropping a 5-0 contest to the Baldwin Highlanders. This week, the team tries to get back its winning ways, playing a game this afternoon at Trinity before returning home this Wednesday to host the Blackhawks of Bethel Park. The name lacrosse, of course, means the stick in French, and this year, both lacrosse teams have been doing just that, sticking it to their opponents. The girls took on Bethel Park last Tuesday, which was never even close. The scoring came fast and furious as Amanda Phillips took a pass from Jen Doran to open up the scoring for the Indians. Then Phillips put in the unassisted shot to make it 2-0. A nice Paige McMiniman pass to Jen Doran helped give the girls all the scoring they would need for the night. But they weren't done yet. Morgan Murray scores on a wraparound shot to put the ladies up 5-zip, as Peters rolls to a 15-2 defeat over the hated Blackhawks. Later that week, the team took a close one and an emotional 7-6 victory over Seton LaSalle Rebels, and then followed that up on Saturday morning with an 11-4 blowout against Baldwin. The girls hope to continue their winning ways this week as they travel to Mount Lebanon on Tuesday, followed by a home match against the Cougars of York. The boys team has had no less of a tough time opening up their season. On April Fool's Day, the jokes were all on Chandler. Sean Palmaro opens up the scoring with an open net shot to put Peters up 1-0. Up 2-0, Brian Fort takes one right up the middle. The unassisted goal was the Indians' third of the evening, but they weren't even close to being done. Spencer Smith put one on the scoreboard with just 10 seconds left in the first period. With the team now up 4-0, the team's leading goal scorer, Jason Powell, made sure it wouldn't be close, putting PT up 5-0. On the way to the Indians rolling to a 16-2 victory over the Titans of Shaler. Then, following that up, the Indians went north and came back with an 8-6 win over North Hills. Followed by a Saturday night contest hosting the Bethel Park, crushing the Blackhawks with a score of 12-3. The boys and girls track teams have both hit the ground running. The teams made up a postponed meet last Wednesday against both Keystone Oaks and Thomas Jefferson. The girls handily took care of Keystone Oaks 104-42 and took Thomas Jefferson in a close one, decided by a tiebreaker. The boys teams fared just as well, taking apart Keystone Oaks 124-21 and then taking a close one over Thomas Jefferson 75.5 to 74.5. The boys and girls track teams will be facing the Ringgold Rams in a dual meet on Tuesday at 2:30. Spring sports have finally arrived. We'll be sure to keep you updated here at the PT Sports Information Center. Now let's turn it over to Tina Castillo and Mark Priori for our entertainment report.
Thanks, Steph. Mark, why don't you start us off with the top movies of the week?
All right. Ice Age The Meltdown chills out at number 1 for its second week in a row. At number 2, The Benchwarmer has its first appearance on the charts. Take the Lead steps up on some toes and dances in at number 3 for its third straight week in a row. And Inside Man hangs on to number 4. Making its first debut on the top 5, lucky number 7 pulls through with a number 5 spot. If you just feel like staying home this weekend to watch a movie, grab your bunny slippers because horror films Wolf Creek and The Dark are both available to rent. Want something a little lighter? An Unfinished Life, starring Jennifer Lopez, is slightly less depressing and definitely less bloody. Anyone looking for a good laugh can check out Fun with Dick and Jane with veteran funny man Jim Carrey or you can sit down and watch The Greatest Game Ever Played with Shia LaBeouf.
I don't know if I want to sit down for that one. The weather looks nice for this weekend, and I'd rather work on my own golf game.
What game?
Anyways, my top movie of the week goes to lucky number 11, starring big names like Bruce Willis, Morgan Freeman, Lucy Liu, Josh Hartnett, and Ben Kingsley. The plot unfolds as Hartnett arrives at his friend's apartment and is mistaken for him by 2 rival crime bosses. To stay alive, Slevin has to outsmart both of them with the help of Mr. Goodcat, a.k.a. Bruce Willis. Slevin is not just another action movie because its humor will keep you laughing during the most suspenseful scenes. Also, if anything, the different plot is appreciated in the big sea of action movies. Slevin is also Josh Hartnett's first big movie since Pearl Harbor, so that should be enough reason to go see it over the long holiday weekend to escape from the family. Also, coming out in theaters this weekend is the latest installment in the not-so-scary or funny scary movie series. The 4th one features Anna Faris, and I guess the series has no hope of getting better, with veteran scary movie director David Zucker on crew once again. Scary Movie 4 mocks the latest dramatic action movies, War of the Worlds, Saw, The Village, and The Grudge. Also, taking the laughter to the next level, it makes fun of Tom Cruise outside of his acting career instead of his lesson-inspiring movies. In theaters this weekend is Disney's latest version of an animated film about animals. No, not The Lion King 2.5, but The Wild. However, the animation does look as funny as last year's animal lover movie Madagascar. Well, that's all for the entertainment report. Until next time, you've been watching at Petit. Keep watching us because we'll be watching you.